Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. This is episode 86. We want to thank you guys for listening. We are recording this on SDCC weekend, which is a big deal to a lot of people. Hopefully to a lot of you guys listening out there, I'm sure you're checking out what's been going down. We're going to talk about some of that a little bit later. But before we get to that, I want to let you know that if you love, enjoy the podcast, you can head over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/SteveCrypto, and become a member. We'd love to have you. Basically, we throw content out, when as soon as we can. We actually just put out a video not long ago, and you can go check that out. We have some other content from, when I took a trip to Vegas. Steve and his fiance did a little thing where they talked about some board games, right? You guys played some games and then discussed them, and
we talked about some of our favorites and stuff. I think we're probably going to do that again soon. So that, because we have PAX coming up next month, it's September, which is like the huge gaming expo. And so we'll probably fucking see a lot of cool shit that we'll be hyped about and talk about.
Yeah.
So.
And we want you Patreon members to hear all about it. So
first,
yes, before anybody else. So you can head over there, contribute whatever you can, and become a member. We'd love to have you and your friends. Please, if your friends are into pop culture, tell them about this show, and then tell them to become a Patreon member, because there's some cool content there that they're missing out on.
I think if they listen, they'll be like, "Oh my god, I got to be part of this. Sign me up, Patreon." So yeah, like you said, pop culture fans, horror fans, just nerdy people, man. If you have something you geek out for that falls under that whole umbrella, do it. Keep listening to us, of course. Other ways you could show us love, you could go check out our merch page on Etsy. Just go to Etsy and search for Steve and Crypto. Our merch page will pop up where we got some t-shirts, mugs, magnets. Then I also have some stuff on hand that you could hit me up for. We could work that out. I got a few of the trucker hats left. We just got a whole batch of these really cool pins with our logo on it that will look awesome on your vest or your hat or through your nose or whatever. So yeah, check out the merch, and there's other ways, other avenues you could take to show us some love.
Yep. I mean, everybody's on social media, so, well, most of you. So if you are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you can find us there. We have a Facebook group that we would encourage you to join, encourage your friends to join. Anybody that is creative, basically, that's got something going on, throw a little preview in there. You don't have to be working on a project. I mean, we post all kinds of cool things in there, but we share things that our friends are working on, and we just want you guys to know about it.
Of course, we promote the show too, because
we promote the show plenty in there, but there's all kinds of things that may or may not be related to the show that we want to share with you that we'll put in there. So basically, if you're a fan of pop culture and horror in general, then you're going to want to check it out. So come join the group. You can find Steve at The Steve Strout. You can find me at CryptoZoo88
on Twitter and Instagram. Speaking of social media, quickly, our guest this week, before we get to more of our self-promotion, figured I'd mention while we're on the topic, is the man behind the horror social media app Slasher. We had Damon, who's the guy who started that and is the driving force behind that. He's here to chat for a few today. But we'll get to that in a few. Back to our other stuff. We mentioned social media, mentioned Patreon. We also have a Buy Me a Coffee page where you could go and basically like tip us. It's buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. Like every little bit helps from there. Every little bit from Patreon helps. It all goes back into the show. What else we got? I think that about covers everything.
I think we pretty much promoted everything that we have, on the pipeline at this point.
I think you mentioned at the top of the show. I'd say it's still the top of the show, but you mentioned when we opened the show.
Depends on how long this show is.
That it's San Diego Comic-Con weekend. Of course, being the pop culture nerds that we are, we followed a little bit and kept our eyes open for anything interesting. Personally, I'm kind of underwhelmed with everything the whole weekend. I feel like we usually get bigger shit out of the weekend, but there was some cool stuff. I mean, of course, Marvel released their phase 5 timeline. So
5 and 6.
Okay. It's 5 and 6. I thought it was
yes,
5.
They did.
We're in the middle of 5, right?
Didn't they put phase 6? No, we're in phase 4, I believe. And I think 4 is almost done.
I just watch and see what the hell's coming. I don't follow the phases or this and that, but I know there's a bunch of, mostly in 2023, there's a ton of movies and TV shows coming out. Before the end of this year, I think they did release a trailer for the She-Hulk series, which I think comes out this year.
Yep.
So I know that's coming. They did release a trailer or a teaser or something for Black Panther 2, which that's coming next year. And I got a quick list I'll run through here of what is happening. Before it slips my mind, there's going to be a Daredevil series that I'm very excited for, because that series they did on Netflix was amazing. Charlie Cox is going to be back as Daredevil.
And I know we can say this confidently, speaking for a lot of people listening. Thank you for keeping the same actor. Thank you for keeping him, bringing him from the Netflix universe into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Because they often try to just, they want to separate like the big screen actors from the small screen. And most of the viewers just don't give a shit, man.
Marvel's not doing that as much.
Good. We don't care.
Marvel don't do that as much as like DC does. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought he was awesome as Matt Murdock. I thought that series was still possibly my favorite series that's come out of the MCU. So we'll see. But I said the list, there's TV shows and movies. I know February, these are all 2023 dates, by the way. February, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, apparently coming. May, we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the Marvels in July, which is going to be Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel and whatever other Marvels they could find. Let's see. Blade is going to be in November. Then on the 2024, we're getting another Captain America with Sam as Captain America, which I'm cool with that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be good. It's going to be in May. Thunderbolts is a team I don't know much about in July of 2024.
Sounds like it. I've heard that it's kind of has like a Suicide Squad vibe, a bunch of villains together.
Okay. So those are all movies. Then TV stuff, we're getting in early 2023 to Secret Invasion, which would be cool. Echo, which I'm not sure that's going to be. Do you know anything about?
No, I know nothing about Echo.
That'll be in the summer. New Loki season.
I love Loki, and I should try watching the first series or the first season again. When you have little kids running around in the house and whatnot, there's lots of distractions and you get sidetracked. But at this point, like I didn't finish the series being like really into it, really excited. and I want to like it more. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to like it so much more.
You kind of had to pay more attention to it because it was a lot of dialogue driven stuff.
Yeah.
And also it kind of left it just like kind of wide open. It almost to the point that I felt like why did I what was the point? It almost felt pointless, but it was good. If that probably don't make sense, but it was well made. It was great. The cast was awesome. You had to really pay attention, and then it just felt like fuck. There was like most shows, even during a season, it could be a show with 10 seasons, even during the season, you know, a season will wrap up with some closure in some sense of a storyline or something. This was just like, it felt like, why? I mean, I'm sure there's a big picture that they'll resolve.
Yeah, I'll probably try to watch the first season again just to kind of refresh before 2 comes out.
Yeah. What other shows? They're doing the Agatha show from fucking what's her name show, WandaVision.
Yep.
Then of course, those are both in 2023, and then the Daredevil show is going to be 2024, I think. Other than that, let's see. I know you're excited about the Gremlins stuff.
Oh man, I was just gonna say, can I tell them about like one of my favorite parts of the whole weekend? Yeah, it's not even involving Marvel. It's Steven Spielberg. Yeah, I'm very well. I shouldn't say very. I'm excited for anything new from Gremlins. I'm a little let down knowing that it's animated. Just because I feel like, and I've said this before with a lot of franchises that I love, I just feel like it's not going to be taken as serious, you know, like there's going to be, hopefully I'm proven wrong, but there's probably, I'm assuming there's going to be some hype for it for a little bit. It's going to come out, talk about it for a week or so, and then, all right, on to something else.
See, that's how things all go now. Anyways, it's like the attention span of people is just minimal. Like I had a conversation earlier with somebody, and we were talking about that, how people forget, you know what I mean? Next week a new series will come out and it's going to be awesome, and people are going to forget about Stranger Things, which, you know, last week was the biggest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah, if something else is going to take that spot, yeah, I get it. I know what you mean. But going back to Daredevil real quick, I heard that I guess we're going to get 18 episodes in that season, and you know, which is pretty long, and you know, compared to a lot of the shows that they've been putting out lately, you know, we've been getting 6, 8, maybe 10. You know,
they just said 18 episode series. Are we going to get maybe like a two season 8 or 9 episode thing? Like,
split it in half, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure. It probably depends on like COVID and, you know, filming and restrictions and all that. But I heard the number 18 when it came to the episode count. And then the guy, you know, afterwards, this is just a video on YouTube. The guy afterwards was like, we're going to get 18 weeks of Daredevil hype, you know, and that kind of brings it back to what I'm saying is like these shows we grew up on, these movies, they're coming back, you know. It'd be nice to have that hype for a while. Like this Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai, I guess it's going to be a series, right?
Yeah. Supposed to, that's what I've heard.
So, you know, I'm hoping that they don't just make it like a 6-part episode and then they give us like 2 episodes to begin with, and then we have like a couple more weeks of hype and then it's done.
Where is it going to be streaming?
It says HBO Max next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and then later on Cartoon Network, which is kind of interesting.
You know what is interesting to me is this is supposed to be like a prequel.
Yeah. So this is a prequel. It takes place in 1920s China.
They announced that Zach Galligan, who is Billy on the Gremlins, is going to be part of this. So like, how the
hell is he involved?
Like, that's weird. Like, I don't get.
Are
We'll
they going
see.
to fast forward at some point? They might do that.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe
They'll
later
do something creative. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Maybe
it's not.
later in the show they'll fast forward.
Hopefully it's not just like some fucking fan service thing just to squeeze a couple bucks out of diehard Gremlin fans. You know what I mean? I really hope it's not.
Well, there's a quote here from Zach Galligan. He says, I can't say too much, but because it's 1920s China, I'm not playing Billy because he wasn't around.
So he's probably just doing voices. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So Galligan shared following his surprise appearance on the panel. I'm playing this cool character. It was really fun and amazing to work with a new group of creative people who are taking a fresh look at the franchise and are expanding the mythology. Who knows what they're going to add? Maybe they'll add a new transformation or a new rule we don't know about yet. I think Gremlins fans are going to eat it up.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
So
there we go. That answers our question.
That answers the question. So he's going to voice a character that's not him. So it's cool that they're bringing him into the fold. So that's good.
Yeah, it's cool to have him at all, and it's supposed to take the main character is supposed to be about what's his name? The shop owner.
The shop owner as a little kid.
Yeah, I'm looking for his name here. I'm not seeing it right now, but basically it's him as a little kid meeting Gizmo. They're having adventures and like running into other creatures out in their journey, so
Gizmo's old as fuck.
yeah. And apparently I think you might have mentioned actually on the last episode briefly, the creator Joe Dante, just like a week or two ago, he made a comment about like Baby Yoda kind of being a copy of Gizmo.
I think something we might have mentioned before, but I don't. Yeah. I mean, you think that those creatures age like really well, so maybe Gizmo's like that too.
Yeah,
a fuzzy Yoda.
He's just kind of referring to like his movement and how he's kind of, they're both like little furry babies and
like there's like physical
big ears and
resemblance. Yeah. Size of hair,
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I'll obviously I'm gonna check it out because Gremlins is the shit. Kind of got a few shows coming up during the Halloween season. We sort of mentioned last week that we're going to talk about a little bit, but just kind of lead into that. At Comic-Con, Bruce Campbell showed up, and apparently he made some comment about the Evil Dead Rise series, which is supposed to come out this year.
Yeah,
which I totally had forgot about that. We were mentioning shows and movies that are coming out, during the season, the special season, and we forgot to mention that it's supposed to come out this
Rise
year
in like November or so, right? Something like that.
Yeah, but I guess it was originally set to release on HBO Max. That's still the plan, but Bruce Campbell mentioned that a film preview had done so well, people liked it so much that the suits at HBO were considering doing a theatrical release instead.
That'd be great.
It would be, but then I'll have to wait till I can get to the damn theater to watch it.
Yeah.
Either way, it'll be good to get more horror in the theaters. And since kind of just leading into horror coming and spooky shit coming up over the next few months, it's a good time to segue into that. So horror in the theater, Halloween Ends. We got the trailer for that. I think it came out the day that the last episode came out, so we didn't really talk about it much. Did you get to watch the trailer yet?
I did. I watched it a couple days ago. It looks pretty good.
It looks pretty phenomenal. It looks really most Halloween trailers kind of run kind of slow. When the last couple movies came out, the trailer's kind of slow, then there'll be like a scene like boom, there's Michael Myers, and everybody gets excited. This was like an action packed fucking trailer, like shit going down, like
there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot happening in this trailer. You really got to pay attention. Apparently, Jamie Lee Curtis is saying that some fans might hate this movie. So, but some fans hated the last movie.
Some fans hate everything.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know what they're leading up to. Does anybody really think this is going to be the last Halloween film?
Oh,
no. Like, why would they just cut the head off of that cow, that cash cow?
It won't be. They'll.
Yeah. Why would they do that?
Somebody else will pick up the rights and make Halloween movies or something. It'll be. Yeah, if it's not dead by now.
No,
it's not. Yeah, but I mean I don't have dates for everything, but we know that's September. For like the first week of October.
I think it's October.
Yeah, well, that's good timing, and that should go to theaters. It shouldn't go straight to streaming like the last one. So that's good.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned the theatrical release thing, and going back to Evil Dead for a second, I'll be happy if it's in the theater, but at the same time, I'm kind of questioning the success of the film, and I hope they do very well. I mean, I love the series. I hope it does very well, but if it doesn't, then that can determine if they want to make another one or not. So maybe if they just put it out to HBO and streaming, it might do better.
Well, I think it could do okay, just because the Evil Dead already has like a fairly successful franchise with a fan base and stuff. Unlike, like recently, the Black Phone, I had really it doesn't have that fan base built in already. You know what I mean? It didn't have that fan base built in, but it did really well. It made money, and it's still going strong. Yeah, that was good. I think it'll be okay either way, but I did get kind of spoiled with the straight to streaming movies. It is. I love going to the theater. Sitting there. It's like an event. Just chilling, popcorn, other like-minded people around, enjoying a movie, having a good time. But nothing beats watching the movie from the comfort of your home. As me being old, sometimes I get a little sleepy in that dark theater. Like this past week, I'm not going to really say hardly anything about it, but this past week I went and watched Nope, Jordan Peele's new movie, and I will say it was fucking phenomenal. It was a great story. It was beautifully shot. Like, Jordan Peele is legit, man. Like, we knew he was good, but he's the man. I won't talk about it. I know Crypto hasn't seen it. I know a lot of people listening probably haven't seen it yet, so I won't say much. Definitely go see it. But what I was saying was I was watching it, and of course, at the end of the movie, the old man that I am started getting kind of drowsy. So I started dozing off for a minute or two towards the end, which was a little disappointing because it wasn't anything to do with the movie. The movie was phenomenal. It was great. I loved it. Like, I kind of want to go see it again. But I was falling asleep. So we were just talking about the Halloween trailer and Evil Dead. And I see dinosaurs. Like, we're recording our episode, and Crypto had to jump off his mic for a moment, and now there's a dinosaur. I think this is my new co-host or something. But anyways, yeah. So bring back the dinosaur. I want the dinosaur to be my new co-host. That wasn't the booger. That wasn't Boogersaurus either. That guy, he seemed like a classy dinosaur that didn't eat boogers.
that is called a Scorpius Rex. You know, I think they just got to the point where they're like,
They're just making up dinosaurs.
We don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's black like a scorpion, whatever.
Crazy badass name. Now give us some money. Fucking dummies. Yeah.
$40 for the toy. Here you go.
Yep. So
your kid doesn't care what it's called.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm getting old and I fall asleep. So I'm spoiled by movies going straight to streaming. But there's a movie like I said, we were talking about the Halloween trailer. There's a movie for a fan film that just released a trailer. That's also coming out in, I believe, September or October. It's called The Sawyer Massacre, and it's like a prequel, Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel to fan film. But the trailer is actually a film that we talked about on the show. We had the filmmaker on a long time ago, and they finally got the movie done, and it's coming soon. But the trailer looked fucking awesome. Like, it looked really good, like really well made for a fan film. And I think once he releases it, that is going to go to YouTube, and people who backed it and stuff will get a physical copy of it, which I have the Blu-ray coming, so I'm looking forward to that. But once you get more details, we'll share that, because I feel like it's for a fan film. It's going to be a good one that you guys should check out. I try to remember to post a link in the show notes for the trailer, so you guys can check that out. So yeah, this season we got, of course, the Sawyer Massacre coming. We got Evil Dead at some point. We have Halloween ends. What other shit do we got coming that we're excited for? Movies. What we got? The Monsters movie.
Did you mention the release date for the Monsters movie yet? Did you tell them?
Do you know the release date?
I do.
It is
September 27th.
Okay.
So
I was thinking 22nd, 27th.
So the 27th, we get the Monsters on DVD and Blu-ray.
And
I hear, and it comes to Netflix. They've been saying it hits Netflix this fall. So I don't know if the DVD comes out on that day and then Netflix
pretty sure it's
later.
Same day.
Okay.
I think I saw it was same day. And of course, we're excited for the Monsters. We've been talking about it for weeks. We had a cast member on last week. We had Danny Roebuck came on, who's going to be Grandpa Munster.
Yeah.
He chatted with us.
I mean, most of you know him as Grandpa Munster. In this movie, they're calling him the Count. And I believe
he's not a grandpa yet.
Well, that's right. I was going to say, for anybody who hasn't seen the trailer, I mean, if you're watching or if you're listening to this, you've probably seen it. But, in the trailer, they're pretty much focusing on Lily and Herman falling in love and meeting each other. So, hopefully a sequel will come down the road, and then we'll get a young Eddie Munster in that.
Right. One thing I say is I'm seeing a lot of people hating on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I say don't yet. Give it a chance. Fucking listen to our last episode and hear how excited and passionate Danny is about the movie. It's like I don't know. People are just, it's the typical hating on shit too soon before knowing anything about it. And give it a chance.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out this spooky season. A lot of things to pick from. But I definitely suggest giving the Monsters a chance.
Yeah. I
mean, it looks really fun from what we've seen. And if you go back and listen to last week's episode with Danny, he'll tell you a little bit about it, as much as he could.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we talked to him, it was right before they announced the date, so he couldn't tell us or if it was streaming or anything. But yeah, so go listen to that. Another show coming out streaming is the Wednesday Addams show, which is also going to be on Netflix. The one that Tim Burton is, I think he's directing and producing. I'm not sure, but Tim Burton spooky series. I'm for it. Love the Addams Family. Homegirl as Wednesday. She looks awesome as Wednesday. She's fucking becoming horror royalty anyways. Fucking
Yeah,
name is
we've
slipping my
mentioned
mind.
it. Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega, yes. But yeah, she yeah, like you just watched X that she was in.
I did.
How'd you feel about it? Quickly.
Okay. All right. We mentioned her name, so I don't want to like. I know. I don't want anybody to say I'm shitting on Jenna Ortega because I'm not.
She kind of had a small role in it, so if anything you didn't
her
like
part,
is not on her.
It's not on her. Her part wasn't very big. I didn't like the movie.
No.
No. I'll just say that I wasn't into it. It was.
I'm hearing quite a few people that didn't like it, but there's also a lot that did like it. Personally, I liked it.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people that did enjoy it. Honestly, I just couldn't get into it. Like there was some graphic scenes and whatnot, but I guess I just didn't understand the thrill of like the old couple being the killers and all that. I don't know. It was weird.
It felt like a just an old like 70s exploitation and like horror, which was it was like an homage to that, and they did a good job with it because.
And I know they're trying to get a message across of some sort, right? Like
I don't know what the message was. I don't know. Don't fucking make porno in Bible thumpers' backyards. I don't know what the message was. I do know that probably the creepiest scene that I've seen in the last couple of years was in that movie.
Yeah.
If you know what scene I'm talking about, come on.
I think so. Yeah.
Come on. People have probably seen it by now. The fucking old people sex scene.
Yeah,
was rather disturbing. Like,
yeah,
I did not need to see wrinkle old ass going up and down like that. That was too much. That was, but yeah. So that's old news. What else is coming? This spooky season. We got a fucking Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say when we were on the Monsters talk. Actually, is
we probably won't see old people fucking in that movie.
No, but we will see old ladies riding on Roombas.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to old people humping.
No. So I was gonna mention that we get the Monsters on September 27th, and then 3 days later, September 30th, we get Hocus Pocus 2. So just that week right there. I mean, that's
a good week.
2 big bangers that you're gonna want to watch.
Probably. You said bangers. I like that. Bangers.
You're probably gonna want to watch them more than once in the spooky season. So, I mean, I know we will. I'm not lying. We just watched Hocus Pocus earlier today. So, yeah, I was planning on watching it a little bit closer to the sequel coming out, but Sarah was like, we can watch it now and then.
We can see our friend Doug Jones.
Yeah.
He'll be back in Hocus Pocus 2.
And I think something must have slipped my mind. I just forgot like how old Billy became the way he is. I forgot that he went and had some fun with old Sarah on the side. Because he was with Winnie, and so she, sewed his mouth shut and everything.
A little revenge, so you
couldn't tell his story even when he was dead.
So you couldn't eat her sister's ass, and sew his mouth shut. Don't tell Doug Jones I made that joke, because
he won't have his mouth sewn shut in the sequel.
He's a nice guy, and don't tell him that. What else? And probably the thing you're most excited for.
Oh, yeah. And again, something that's not even like Marvel or comic book related that they revealed at SDCC was the trailer for Chucky season 2. So I just watched it before we started recording this episode.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Check it out when we get done. So I mean, I was already excited for it. I mean, I'm a little bit more hyped up for it now. They give you a quick glimpse of like a back shot of Glenn and Glenda, standing at a door.
So everybody assumed that was coming.
Yeah. But you get to see a little bit of them. You see Andy driving the truck that he was driving at the end of the last season. No sign of Kyle. And back to our show, if you listened to our Crypticon recap episode where we were there, talking with Christine Elise, who plays Kyle, she could not tell us at that point what's going on with her character. Like she said dead, alive, I don't know. I can't say, but she's back. So
yeah,
in some way,
be there. Yeah,
we don't know if it's flashback scenes. We still aren't sure of that. There's no sign of her in the trailer. There's a mention of her name. That's about it.
Yeah. Either way, it's pretty cool that we're gonna see some friends of our show on some cool fucking movies and shows this fall.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yep, we get a couple shots of Nika, who is Fiona Dourif, who we also met at Crypticon. She was super nice. She. I don't even want to say, if you haven't seen the first season, I don't want to reveal that big transition, that big change involving Nika. But if you haven't seen the first season, you might not want to watch the trailer for season 2 yet.
If you haven't seen the first season, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, but
right. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're browsing on YouTube or whatever, like, you might not want to watch that because you're gonna see, certain characters in a certain condition.
Yeah,
and it's only one, but I don't want to say who, and it might spoil some things. So, yeah, go watch the first season.
Go watch it. It's on Peacock, I think.
Yeah. So the second season comes out October 5th, I believe.
No idea. I just know it's October.
Yep. So we're getting that.
Damn, we're gonna have a lot of shit to talk about in October.
Yeah.
Not even including our fucking Halloween episode, which is coming together. And once we got more stuff set in stone, we'll start announcing guests on that probably later in September. But we got some cool fucking shit lined up already. Some of our most popular guests that we've had are probably going to come back and hang with us for that episode. And it might be episode 100. Not sure.
Yeah, it just might be. It might be episode 100.
It might be 99.
We might have some music on that episode for you.
We'll definitely have music.
Which we try to include from time to time.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for it. Like, obviously, potential guests, so it's going to be a good one. And since we are talking about guests, we should probably get to our guest. We have a guy, he created this app for horror fans. It's a social media app. It's called Slasher. And it created it because most of the time, if you go on Instagram and you try to post anything, you post like a scene from a horror movie or something, there's blood or something, fucking 9 times out of 10 you're going to get flagged or something. You know what I mean? You can't even use the hashtag horror without getting like a warning asking if it like pops up like, are you okay, or are you going to harm yourself or somebody? Like, it's fucking weird, man. But and
don't get offended, Carol. It's just a movie.
And we're kind of there's starting to be a lot more horror in the mainstream, but we're still kind of the bastard child of fandoms.
Unfortunately, we might always hold that title, but we're climbing up.
I feel like things like year. I feel like shows like Stranger Things and stuff is really opening a lot of younger minds up to the horror genre.
Yeah,
which is cool, which I appreciate. And that this last season was awesome.
My favorite of all, honestly.
Yeah. So our guest is Damon De La Greca, who has created the Slasher app, and he tell us why he started it, when he started it. He kind of teases some upcoming updates and stuff to it. So let's jump in and check that out. And when we get back, we'll BS a few more minutes. We'll do our weekly trivia and wrap things up. So meet Damon from the Slasher app.
Hey, everybody. This is Derek from Monster Kid Radio, and you are listening to the best podcast not called Monster Kid Radio, Steve and Crypto.
You are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. I am Hank, the world's greatest, the host of Death by DVD.
I'm Linnea, and I like Death by DVD. It's a statement.
And I'm in your house. So, once you finish listening to this episode and download 3 more, head on over to www.deathbydvd.com, where there are over 130 blood-soaked episodes all about your favorite horror, exploitation, cult, and psychotronic movies available to stream and download for your listening displeasure. I hope you enjoy this episode of the Steve and Crypto Show, and remember to start locking your back door.
Hi, this is Darcy the Mail Girl from The Last Drive-In, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, we are on the Steve and Crypto Show with a quick visit from Damon Della Greca. If you don't know him, he is the man behind the Slasher app. It's a horror fan social media platform that is kind of starting to blow up and get pretty popular. It's a good time. We've personally on the Steve and Crypto Show, we've met a lot of people through there and got some listeners that were into what we do. It's a good place where you could be a horror fan without getting basically shut down or banned, or you could post a picture of a scene from your favorite horror movie and not worry about getting that put in timeout by some of the other social media apps that you can. But the Slasher app, what's the background on it? Why did you start it? Probably some of the reasons I just said, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually that was a pretty specific one. That was kind of the that was sort of like the last straw, really. Seeing all that stuff, seeing like people who had like real art to share with people in the form of like movies or something like that, that was perfectly reasonable and rated R. When I saw that stuff was being removed from the mainstream social networks, I just kind of really got fed up with it. And, at that point, I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this now. Like I was thinking about it for a while and I kept coming up with good reasons to do it. But that was kind of like the last straw. I was just like, all right, well, I have to do this at this point, because now people who have something completely legitimate to offer, their stuff was just being destroyed. They were being taken down, and there was really no reason for it. I mean, people have to understand that there's a difference between real blood and gore and things like that and special effects. Special effects is purely fantasy. And there's definitely artistic merit and value. So it was important to me to be able to provide a place for people to share their stuff, to get their stuff in front of people who care, who want to see it. So why keep feeding these monstrous companies that just don't give a fuck about us? That's the sort of thing that sets me off. And I really wanted to make something that we could just enjoy and not have to worry about what the mainstream is doing or what they care about, because we don't care about the same things. And to have a place of our own, that's a really cool situation, because now I have people who have really kind of come to me like in messages and even in person and stuff. And then they've just been so appreciative that they've had a place now where they can come in and just enjoy horror as a genre. it's something that a lot of people seem to hide from others, from the public. And it's kind of a shame, but I get it. I totally get it. So it's really, really cool to know that people can express themselves, they can be themselves, they can enjoy what they enjoy without the nonsense and bullshit of the mainstream sort of mucking that up for them. So I certainly appreciate being able to offer that and to have created this. So that is one of the big reasons. The other reason that I've talked about in the past is it kind of came down to me wanting to get a little bit more immersed, particularly in the convention scene, just to go to the conventions, to know where they are, when they are, because I really wasn't finding out. And finding out about that stuff at the time when I was putting all this together, it was like a full-time job, just trying to find where the next nearest conventions are. So without having to spend a ton of time searching and talking to people and sort of networking through that, I just said, let me put something together. And it started out as just a shared calendar between me and friends. And then as I was going to more of the conventions and everything, I realized that there's a lot more going on. And there was stuff that people just needed. And these are things that I'm just trying to still continue to address and make sure that everyone could sort of get what they're looking for, get what they need, and get to have a good time doing it. That's a really important thing too. So yeah, that's how it sort of came to be.
Right. I know, talking about the censoring and stuff, I've literally had posts pulled because I've used the hashtag horror.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you search hashtag horror on Instagram, it'll basically, it'll basically ask you, like, are you okay? Are you going to hurt yourself or someone else? It's like, dude, I just want to fucking see Hellraiser.
Yeah.
I want to see some cool shit. I want to see, like, the latest haunts in my area. I want to see the newest movies. Like, why is this a big fucking deal? So yeah, they decided to like ban an entire hashtag, or at least flag it, and that to me is like a massive deal, because the stuff that they're suggesting is a massively like concerning implication. So yeah, I get where you're coming from, man.
It's basically like the oversensitivity is causing a censorship of art, which is just sad.
Well,
which I think is why they're flagging it, because they're connecting it to too much bad shit in the world, which they got to be able to distinguish somehow. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like this overexertion of I really don't even know. It's like this excessive use of power, and it doesn't seem to have a connection. Because you and I are in this on a daily basis. We see the stuff all the time. We know what's going on, but I don't personally see any connection between horror and any other thing that's going on in the world.
Yeah, I don't even think, I think horror, I specifically think of the genre. Yeah. I don't think of any shitty news, shootings, anything going on in the world. I don't think of real life stuff.
Right.
I think of horror, I think of the horror genre, and that's it.
Right. That's the whole thing. I mean, for the majority of people, it's simply escapism, really. It's a fun, unique outlet and escape for people. And I would say that that's what the vast majority of people use it for. So to have those types of things thrown at us, it really is a whole level of commentary on what certain people think of everyone in the genre. And to me, that's dangerous and irresponsible. But hey, it's their thing, and I'm not going to tell them how to run their thing. I'm just going to tell them, hey, I'm going to make my own thing if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, it's weird because this whole fandom in the genre is just we're like there's a lot of smart, good,
Mhm.
open. We're here like with open arms to any. You're not into horror. You like sci-fi movies. Come on over, anyways. We'll
Sure.
hang out with you. We'll be your friend. But we're the horror guys. We're still stuck over in the corner, still kind of. But it is
Right.
nice seeing a lot of bigger movies mainstream lately, and so that's good. That's a start.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's always good to see new stuff. Having people share their creativity and their visions with us, telling us stories that we haven't heard before, creating characters we've never seen before. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Um, and it takes a lot to make these things become a reality for us, whether it's in a book or a movie or whatever it is. So I certainly have a lot of appreciation and respect for that.
Right. And with slasher, it makes me think of you mentioning conventions and stuff.
Mhm.
It almost, in a way, like you can find conventions, you can find a new book, you can find an artist or anything, but it also kind of brings all that to you at home, kind of like a convention. The slasher app opened up as like a convention because everything is
Right.
there that we would find, and not everybody can make it to a convention, or there's not any near them, but there
Yep.
is that community right there, like in their phone,
Yeah.
where they could be a part of it, which is really cool.
Thank you. No, it's true. That was one of the things I really wanted to at least attempt to get across, was have that same vibe that you get when you go to the convention. You're there hanging out with people who are into the same stuff as you, who really get you and understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And to have people that can share stories, that can um, share their creative work with us, just talk about something that they watched, and let everyone else know, hey, I saw this new series, or I saw this new movie, and here's what I thought about it. That's really cool, because I've found a lot of new stuff that way myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people have too.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to be able to do that, to have people to talk about stuff with and bounce stuff off of and everything.
Right.
It's
And
a lot of fun.
it is. And I've seen, you see a lot of stuff, people posting, I watched this movie or I read this and I really enjoyed it. You
Yeah.
do that in other social media apps. If you get 20 comments on it, I
Mhm.
guarantee you a few of them are going to be something negative or something just
Yeah.
shitting on your opinion or something. Like
Right.
you could freely, have an opinion. And it's just like in the horror community in general. It's like if there's a movie you watched that I didn't care for, you're not a piece of shit because you like that movie. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
It's your thing. It's not mine. We could
Sure.
talk about it, and what did you like about it? What's it, why didn't I like it? We could talk about it, which you don't see that on any of the other platforms. It's just
Yeah.
crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
But negative stuff aside, what's really one of the cool things I really like is how you personally, like you're running this thing,
Mhm.
but you still take time to interact personally
Yeah,
with, new members. I don't know if you're still welcoming every new member, but
I
you've
do.
been jumping in there welcoming everybody, and it's like I don't even want to know how many messages you got to send every day. But that's cool. I think that's one of the really cool things that sets Slasher apart
Yeah.
from all the other social media platforms.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I get it. When you have that many people on your platform, it's harder to do that for sure. Because we're at a more manageable level, at a manageable growth rate right now. It's easier for me to do that. Not to say it doesn't take me time, but I mean, I want to make sure that people understand, like, these are basically things that a lot of people have asked about or commented about over time. And it's taken me months and months to put that welcome message together. So I figured, you know what? Let me just send this to people when they arrive, and it'll sort of answer a lot of the questions that are probably going to come up. And if they don't, that's fine. But at least they'll understand, like, hey, there are people out here that are here to help, that are watching out for me, that are trying to make this enjoyable for everybody. So, I'm happy to do that, if that's really what it translates to. Because it is important, and I really do appreciate everybody who's on it and who joins up. People can choose to spend their time however they want, and they're choosing to spend it, on my app, which I really do appreciate it. It just means so much to me. So I want to make sure that I'm involved at least enough to keep things fun and to keep people, getting what they're looking for. And, I'm always listening too, to try to find out like what other stuff people want.
Right.
So it's really just my way of showing appreciation.
Yeah.
While I'm able to.
Right. I mean, someday you won't be able to do that, but it's like putting out a nice welcome mat,
Right,
Yeah.
for sure.
And it's kind of like when you go see a band
Mhm.
that you really want to see for a long time, and you meet them
Yeah.
and they're kind of dickheads. And then you see the band that opened for them was really cool, so you
Yep.
like them, but you're like the cool band. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
we meet you. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and visit that guy again, or I'm gonna check out his app again because he just seems like a good guy and he's actually here listening to me,
Right.
which
Yeah.
you don't feel like anywhere else.
Yeah, it's difficult, They're most of these apps are so hands off.
Yeah.
And then when they sort of switch hands and get sold to like gigantic corporations that, nobody knows who's doing what.
Yeah.
It's this giant faceless company where you don't know who you're talking to or anything. And I like being able to be a little bit more personable with everybody. It's honestly, it's fun. I like to be helpful. I like to just talk with people. It's honestly, it's enjoyable. It really is.
That's
Everybody
like-
is so nice.
It's like you said, you one of the reasons you started it was to be involved.
Mhm. Yeah.
You're just staying involved.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what do you do when it gets too big that you can't answer everybody? Do you hire some crew to get on there and not be you, but hey, I'm from the slasher team? And
I really don't know. I mean, at some point I'm probably going to automate the welcome message or do something a little different with it just to make it easier for people. I'm always going to make every effort to respond to people as often and quickly as I can. I do like that. I appreciate that because it keeps me grounded and able to get things done and to understand what people need and want and what's important. I appreciate being able to do that. So hopefully, hopefully things will just scale in a way that's manageable for me to continue to do that. I don't know how things are going to look, in a few months, honestly. If things grow a lot faster or a lot bigger, stuff like that, I just kind of have to see how it goes.
yeah.
Everything I've done so far has been a result of a need, whether it's a need for me, whether it's a need for the people on the app, whether it's a need in general in the genre. It's about understanding and paying attention and just trying to put those pieces together, to make sure that the things are happening the way that people need them to.
Right.
I think that's really the important thing. But I mean, yeah, I would love to be able to keep doing things the way I am. That's really just, it's nice.
Yeah. So being so interactive, I'm sure you get a lot of feedback from people directly. Well,
Sure.
what did it seem like people are talking about as some of their favorite features and stuff in the app?
The movie database, for sure. Having a database of like over 10,000 just horror movies is really, really cool. So that people seem to just love, and I'm excited about that myself. Like
Right.
the day that I thought about putting that in there, I was just like, oh man, this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. So that is probably the feature that people talk about the most. I mean, nobody really talks about the timeline because that's sort of the thing that you get right when you go in. So, but I know that technically is the most popular feature. They're just not talking about it as much.
All right, because they're busy
Um,
talking to each other on there because
Right.
they can without being shut down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I mean, there was a point in time where Slasher existed without that timeline. I don't think you were around for that one,
I
but
wasn't.
that that was an experiment that I tried and
Yeah.
failed miserably.
Right.
The timeline changed everything.
Yeah. So I think
So
the
that
main
was
thing people are looking for, people, like-minded people to
Yeah.
interact with, and that's
sure.
the key to that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely the easiest. It was the most common that's out there right now. So yeah, for sure. That's the biggest one.
Right. On social media, there have been some teases for some kind of an update or something coming.
Mhm.
What do we have in store for us?
So I'm calling this Slasher 4.0. It's actually going to be in a number of stages that it's going to be coming out. The first stage is going to be basically some of the functionality from the app on a website. So our website is basically going to have the timeline, it's going to have friends, it's going to have the movie database. We're adding new features to that will not be on the current version of the app. So the website is actually going to surpass the app a little bit. We're still going to keep the current app available for a while, but once the website is done, then we're going to release a completely new app that will mirror all of the features of the website. What's nice about the website is it's going to be available worldwide. So I know there's people all over the place who are constantly asking, like, hey, when is this coming out here? Was it coming out there? From places I would have never expected, honestly. But now, once the website comes out, we're not going to have to worry about that because it's going to just be available everywhere. So that's going to be cool. And we're going to get some, I think we're going to get some cool new stuff because now we're going to have people from other countries who can share stuff that maybe we haven't seen or thought about or had put in front of us before. So we're going to see some cool stuff come out of that, I think. There are definitely a few countries out there that have substantial, horror communities and horror fans. So I'm kind of excited to see what they could share with us.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you personally, do you have, is like your background as a developer, app developer or something? Is that?
So I've for like a few decades, I've been involved in like some degree of website development, and I was never really the person who coded that stuff. I would just sort of come up with, hey, here's what I want it to do, here's how I want it to look. Really that kind of stuff. And then I would have other people handle all the code and, basically just make it work. Yeah. But I mean, I get a lot of the technical stuff, but I don't actually do the technical work quite so much anymore.
Right. All right. Well, I think we've taken enough of your time today. Before we do head out, where can people find the app? Where are you on social media? Where's the site going to be when it pops up?
Sure. So the best way to find things are to go to the website, which is slasher.tv. If anyone wants to follow us on any of the social platforms, it is at the Slasher app. The website, we haven't really set a specific date. I'm trying to get this out basically as quickly as possible.
Right.
That's my goal. I've learned the hard way not to announce too many specific dates about things, because if we miss them, then I'll feel so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, things are going well, thankfully, and they're looking really great. We're gonna have some cool new features that I think people are gonna like. There's gonna be some cool new stuff for podcasters like you.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple of new databases aside from just movies that I think are going to be fun. I know we have a pretty good community of people who are into reading, so I want to make sure that we take care of them, and there's going to be a book database.
Oh, nice.
That's one of the new databases that's coming.
You gonna have like a horror comic database or anything like that?
I haven't
fall under books.
Like I don't know. Yeah. That's actually a great question. I don't know if like graphic novels and stuff will fall under that, but that's a great question. Yeah, I haven't taken that deep of a dive into it, but I should.
There's definitely been a lot of comics. Even like the big publishers are putting out a lot of horror stuff, so it's pretty cool. It's been fun.
Yeah. It's always nice to go to the conventions and see, like, there were a few publishers that had a bunch of crossover books. Like there were like Puppet Master meets or verses or whatever it was.
Yeah.
There were always the either the Ash or the Evil Dead verses or whatever. Those are pretty cool. Those are a little bit older. And then of course there's the Hellraiser books, which are really cool. I love the cover art on those. I haven't gotten a chance to read them yet, but they've been really pretty. They've been seemingly pretty popular. Like whenever I go to some of these things, I see them. If somebody has comics, I almost inevitably see the Hellraiser books. That's pretty cool.
It is cool. Well, before we head out here, is there anything you want to add or throw in here?
No, just check out the app. It's a lot of fun. It really is, and it's about to start getting better once the website launches. We're gonna have a whole bunch of new stuff, but yeah, come and check us out. Have some fun with us. Let's talk horror. Let's talk movies, books, music. There's a lot of people who are into metal, into video games, into wrestling. So yeah, come and hang out. It's been a great time. And they can download it from Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It's available in the US and Canada. There's a beta that's currently available in the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. But like I said, when the website comes out, it's just going to be everywhere.
Nice. So yeah, there you guys go. If you're following me, I'm always posting shouting out Slasher app on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. So you can definitely find it through me. He told you where to find it, and he'll roll out the welcome mat to you when you join up. So Damon, thanks, man. Thanks for taking time, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, we are back. Thanks to Damon for telling us about his slasher endeavor. It's a cool app. I enjoy it. I know Crypto is going to be joining it soon. It's just a great community. The horror community anyways is very welcoming, and we're here with open arms. Come and join us and enjoy what we enjoy. And that's what I like about this community, because we're more like that than other ones that are like, if you don't like what we like, fuck you. You know what I mean? We're like,
yeah.
Oh, we don't like that, but I did like this part of this aspect of that. Or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, let's talk about it rather than tell each other how big a piece of shit we are because we don't like it.
Or let's say like there's big subgenres or umbrellas within the horror genre itself.
Yeah.
And so, we go over to the zombie subgenre. Maybe one person isn't into Dawn of the Dead, but Night of the Living Dead is their jam, like my podcaster. I mean, he likes them all, but
I like them all.
But Night of the Living Dead is his jam.
Just the Romero stuff is like,
yeah, or vampire movies. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about one that we might not care for. You can guess what it is, but I mean, someone like me,
you don't like. Is it you that said you don't like Blade and you love Twilight? What was it? Was it Crypto Cullen? Was that what the
you
dude
got
called
those?
You back in the day?
You got those ass backwards.
Was that what the name was that the dude called you? Crypto Cullen?
Oh my god!
I forgot about that till just now.
Who the hell said that? Was that Josh Cook?
No. Yes, he's the brown gold guy.
Yeah.
Crypto Cullen. Somebody that was listening, that was joining us on one of our Facebook lives, which we should do soon.
How dare they?
Yeah. But yeah, I know you're referring to not being a Twilight fan, which
but just
me neither.
Whereas one person's way into Twilight, someone like me is more into Blade, 30 Days a Night, the more like animalistic side of vampires where, they're not trying to woo you, they're just trying to eat you.
Yeah.
And but there's something for everybody in the horror bracket. I mean, at least that's how I feel.
Even not scary, even just spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Like I consider, like The Monsters falls under horror. It's comedy, but horror. The whole horror comedy thing. There's just spooky fucking hocus pocus type stuff that has horror themes. But
it doesn't have to be gruesome to be entertaining. We enjoy that, but it doesn't have to be.
But the thing is, somebody who likes, like a gory movie is not going to tell you that you're a shitty person because you don't.
Yeah.
And that's why the Slasher app is a good place to go and find these people, because they're all there to just talk about horror and, books, movies, TV shows. There's all there to talk about it. Like I've yet to see, like if you go on Facebook and a topic comes up, especially if it's a personal topic, like 9 times out of 10, somebody is going to pop in on that thread and say something negative or rude or just something. Like I haven't seen any of that shit on the Slasher app. So if you're a horror fan, or you're just even not a big fan, if you just like a little bit, like I'm not a horror fan, but I like the movie Alien, you know what I mean? You'll probably go in that group and find like-minded people that you can chat with. It's a cool community. So I
gotta check it out.
I say join it.
Join us.
Yeah, man. Again, thanks Damon for telling us about it. Get over there, do that. We did mention the San Diego Comic-Con stuff a little bit. We did want to mention, you mentioned to me, and I forgot to ask you about it, was that I didn't know that they showed the first chunk of Clerks 3.
Yeah. So from what I've gathered, it seems like Kevin Smith and his buddies have been doing something there like every day. Normally they have like one day at Hall H or whatever it is, one panel. But this year, like they did Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. If anybody listening, if you're not aware of that show, go check it out. Like if you're into nerd pop culture stuff, you got to listen to that. It's fun. So they did a live show for
after
that.
You're done listening to us, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
They did a live show. Jay and Silent Bob Get Old had their live show, which is a treat because they don't really do that so much anymore. They haven't been for a while. And I believe they're just doing like some live recaps or whatever. They had like a Clerks, I think they called it a Clerks 2 panel. So I'm assuming they had some old guests, some old
Like a
friends come
reunion,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Rosario Dawson was there, but you know,
You think Kevin Smith was there?
Probably.
Yeah. That guy. Much as I'm a fan of his, I say it every time, but I just he he loves to talk about himself.
Yeah, you know, I see it this way as like, well, he's kind of an independent. He calls himself an independent contractor, and you know, he's got to like push his products himself and sell it to you because who else will? You know, I mean, that's kind of how we have to do things with our podcast too. I mean, nobody else is gonna push our podcast harder than us. So,
yeah, except maybe Josh Cook.
Yeah, and we love him for that. Yeah, so they did their panels, their live shows and all that. They played the first 5 minutes of Clerks 3 at one of those events. I'm not sure which one.
Have you heard any feedback about it?
No. But if anybody listening went or heard anything, let us know. Contact us online.
I bet he probably made everybody that walked in there to see that. He probably made him sign some kind of a disclosure.
He might have, yeah.
To not leak or.
But actually, you know what? When I think about it again, he might be more of the type to say, like, I just want people to watch this thing. You know, like, please, like, go see it. Because I mean, he's had some big competition. Well, every year at Comic-Con is big competition for him, you know, and he's still like kind of a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the major studio stuff, yeah,
because I mean, you heard about that one year when he had his Hall H thing, and like, what was it? J.J. Abrams was doing a panel, I think, at the same time, and just took most of his crowd.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe it humbled him a little bit, but you know, maybe. I'm just saying, I think he's still probably going to try to do whatever he can to get people interested
of course,
in the third, you know, version or third sequel.
Not saying taking anything away from him. He's great. He's great at promoting and selling his shit to people. Well, sometimes I just get tired of hearing his same stories about himself.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it. And, you know, for people like you and I who maybe watch a little bit more of his stuff or listen to podcasts frequently or whatever, you might hear the same recycled story, you know.
Yeah.
But that's going to happen.
Now,
casual fans won't hear it so much.
And now, after hearing the stuff and then knowing what we know about Clerks 3, it almost sounds like autobiographical.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like,
it's about him. Yeah, he is making a movie within a movie. I mean, it's all about like, if anybody listening hasn't checked it out, was it Randall? Yeah, Randall has a heart attack.
Yeah,
and then decides that he's gonna make a movie about himself,
which is basically his life, but in a kind of different sequence.
Yeah,
it's cool. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because you know there's gonna be fun shit. It's gonna be funny Jay and Bob stuff and interaction between Randall and Dante and all that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna enjoy it, but also I feel like just hearing what we've heard so far. Hopefully, it's just like something he threw out there to kind of like you said, what he threw out there was kind of, well, I said as autobiographical, and you basically cemented that statement.
Yeah.
But I hope there's a lot more to it.
I'm sure there will be. You know, it's probably going to be a lot in there about like friendship and things like that. You know, those characters in this View Askew universe, they've been friends for a long time now. So that's probably going to be part of it. I mean, I'm expecting one or two tearjerker scenes. They did it in the last one when they're in the jail cell and Randall broke down to Dante. So we're probably going to see something like that again. I mean, they had a scene like that in Reboot. Honestly, my favorite part of the movie is the Affleck scene in Reboot. You know, just that chunk right there, and them talking about like being a dad and everything. And yeah it's true.
Oh, that's cool. Well, fucking, like you said, if anybody saw or was there and saw the first few minutes, let us know what you think. If you saw anything, if you're at Comic-Con and anything cool happened that we didn't mention, that's worth talking about, reach out to us or jump in the Facebook group and post something in there. Like I said, you can get us at He's Crypto Zoo 88. I'm the Steve Strout.
Yeah, if there's any, as you just said, any bits of news or like any maybe appearances at Comic-Con that we don't know about, you know, any little surprises, because almost every year you can count on somebody showing up that you didn't know was going to be there. And like this year, we already mentioned Gremlins, you know, the animated series coming out. Zach Galligan showed up at Comic-Con, and that was a surprise, you know, and they revealed the cast, and with him included, of course.
Like The Rock showed up to promote Black Adam, and I don't think that was really announced or anything. So that's kind of cool. People assumed, but yeah.
It'd be fun to kind of see like their process of just getting in the building, you know, and like not being seen.
Oh, they have a plan.
Yeah. Oh, I know they do. I know they do. I'm just saying it'd be entertaining to watch.
Yeah, but by the time, you know, they get in the building, and by the time it's not like it's gonna leak between them walking in the door and the 5 minutes it takes them to hit the stage. But yeah, that's about enough for that. I think we should give them some trivia. Think it's about trivia time?
Let's do it.
All right. So you guys know the routine. If you know the answer of this trivia question or any of the past ones, send either one of us a message on social media with the answer, and just tell us what episode, of course. And we'll send you some stuff. We'll send you stickers or something, and we'll put your name on a list for a bigger drawing for some cool shit, maybe merch, maybe movies, maybe I almost said crack rocks, but no crack rocks. We don't have one of those. But yeah, so trivia. Let's shoot this question at you guys, and then we'll let you guys go so you can tell us the answers really fast before you forget. All right, you guys ready? Crypto's ready.
I'm ready.
He's paying attention very intently. So, where do the survivors in the original Dawn of the Dead take refuge?
It was a broken down Taco Bell.
Wrong movie. I don't know what movie you're talking about, but it's not.
No, that was where I took refuge last week when my car broke down.
There you go. The Dawn of Your Dead automobile. Okay, so yeah, one more time. Where do the survivors in Dawn of the Dead take refuge? We need a specific name of the place. And I feel like our listeners would know this. So send us a message, CryptoZoo88, the Steve Strout. Tell us the answer. We'll send you stuff, and then maybe you'll get a chance to get more stuff.
And you know what? You can even go back and listen to previous episodes and tell us the answers from those trivia questions if you like. Doesn't have to be this one. You can go to one from 3 weeks ago and give us the answer to that. Just let us know episode whatever and the answer, and
just go back and listen to every episode.
There. Yeah, that'll cover it, because you know I really don't remember which episodes have trivia. So it's best to just listen to every single one of them so you can figure it out. You'll get to the end, you're like, damn, no trivia. All right.
Probably one of them things we should have
no
took notes
trivia.
on, but we didn't. Yeah.
It's more fun if you just go through every one of them, and then you'll be surprised. You have something to look forward to in every episode, or not.
And it boosts our numbers too. So, yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Make sure you guys visit us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Steve Crypto.
Go to our Etsy store, Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. T-shirts, mugs, magnets galore.
Yeah, there's that. There's the Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto.
Go to the Facebook group, facebook.com/Steve and Crypto Show, and come be a member. Throw some stuff in there that you're working on. Let me see what you got. Let us see your scripts for your next horror movie, or throw in a song for your next album, whatever it is. We want to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. So on the Patreon, a couple weeks ago, we released our video of us unboxing that horror pack June box. And that is live on YouTube now. So if you're following our YouTube channel, you could go check that out. And you'll see how cool Horror Pack is. And you might want to go get you a Horror Pack subscription.
I think you might have a code for them for that, right?
And if you use the code Steve and Crypto, you can get $5 off your first Horror Pack, which is a pretty dang good deal.
You say
$5 whole, which then you could use that extra $5 and you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee and just leave it there on buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. But yeah, go to Horror Pack.
Macchiato.
Go to Horror Pack, use the code Steve and Crypto, all is one word. Also, if you go in my social media and my all my links, or whatever the fuck it's called, those link tree, all my links,
link tree type of thing.
Yeah, mine's called All My Links. But if you go in my social media profiles and find my All My Links, there's a link for it's my affiliate link for Fangoria. So you could go there, and I believe you save like 20% off, which you can use for subscriptions, merch, anything. And I get a kickback too. So we all win. It's win-win for everybody.
That. You get a little something, and you're helping out two companies at the same time.
There you go. So yeah, do that. Go do all that cool stuff to help us grow. And be sure, after you listen to this episode, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review and a rating. It helps our rankings. That we're probably ranked like 999,000 out of 1 million. But
any app out there that will allow a review, we would really appreciate it from you. We know for sure that Apple Podcasts,
and Podchaser, you could also leave reviews. You could rate us. Most of the apps have like a rating thing. I know Spotify does. You could just give us a 5-star rating or whatever you think we're worth. Hopefully 5 stars, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, go show us some love everywhere. And I think that about wraps this week. So I am Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. We will catch you on episode 87.